Hello students, welcome to AffairsCloud.
We have an app called Careers Cloud which you can go and download it from the Play Store. So after downloading it, you can easily log in using your Gmail ID. Once you have logged in, you will be redirected to a home page which contains 4 tabs beneath it. One is Home, the other is All Courses, next is My Courses, and the last one is a Doubt Session. So under All Courses, you can access various types of courses like Reasoning, Quant, English, and also exam specific courses can also be accessed under this All Courses. If you click this Crack Current Affairs, you will be redirected to this page. So under this, you can see various tabs that are available. So here, if you see, the current affairs will be available in English medium, this under Hindi medium, and here banking awareness, we will provide you the monthly compilation of the banking news and current affairs exam PDF, and also special current affairs which includes mainly the budget, the union budget, the economic survey, which is very important from the exam perspective. And this is topic wise content where that topics news related to the specific topic, they will be combined together and provided to you. For example, see appointments. All the appointments in that particular month will be combined together in a specific place. And similarly, in case of banking, economic news, so all will be combined together. So this will be easy for you to relate to each other news. Next, you can access the daily current affairs on a daily basis, weekly basis, and also on a monthly basis. So after reading the weekly or the daily news, you can also attend our quiz in order to strengthen your knowledge. Under the monthly current affairs, if you see, there are 2 types of PDF that are available. One is the pocket PDF, the other one is the normal PDF. This pocket PDF will give you a brief content of our current affairs, and this will provide you a detailed analysis of the current affairs. So it is always preferable to read this detailed analysis and then have a go through of this pocket PDF. Next is that we also provide you the PIB news apart from the current affairs. So you can go and access our PIB news on a daily basis from this path. And as I mentioned, this special CA covers very special topics like budgets and economic survey. After reading the content provided in this PDF, you can go and attend the quiz given below. And next is the exam perspective PDF. So if you see IBPS PO mains, IBPS RRB clerk, SBI clerk, so these are all exam perspective PDF. So if you go and check, these PDF will contain around 5 to 6 months of the current affairs, which has high chances of high chances of being asked in this SBI clerk mains exam. So it is very useful to go and read this PDF from an exam perspective point.
Hello students, welcome to our new initiative. In this initiative, we will be uploading the weekly current affairs on banking and finance section. So this will be uploaded on every Monday. And so on the whole, per month, you will have totally 4 videos related to this topic. And apart from just providing you with the banking and finance news, we also provide you the conceptual explanation so that this will enhance and also strengthen your knowledge about these topics.
Today, we will be covering February 3rd week banking and finance awareness news. Moving to the first news. The first news is about the data that's been released by a ministry. So if you see, India's overall exports during the April 2024 to Jan 2025 has been at $682.59 billion with an estimated growth of 7.21% compared to the previous year, that is 2024. If the same period is considered, then if you see, we have grown at 7.21%. And this data, if you see, it has been released by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The total exports in January 2025, if you see, it has been at 74.97 billion. Only in the month of January, the total exports has been at $74.97 billion. This exports includes both merchandise and services. Merchandise, it includes the goods, the visible goods that we see, right? Like basmati rice, or even various technical goods like, soft hardware systems like the motherboard or the mobiles. All this comes under the merchandise. This is the services sector. So merchandise and services together in January 2025, if you see, we had got 74. Total exports has been 74.97, almost $75 billion, a 9.72% increase compared to the previous year. Similarly, total imports, if you see, January 2025, it has been $77 billion. So the imports is slightly higher than the exports. So exports is around 75 billion and the imports is around 77 billion. A 2 billion difference is there between export and import, and the import is more than the export in January 2025. and this has been a 12.98% increase compared to the previous January 2020. Next, overall from April to January 2025, if you see, it has been at $682.59 billion. So remember, it is at $682.59 billion, a 7% increase. And similarly, total imports, if you see, it has been at $770 billion, which has been an 8.96% increase. You just have to remember that both the exports and imports, they have increased compared to the previous year. And for January 2025, it is the exports is 75 billion and the imports is 77 billion. An easier way is total imports from April to January, if you see, just 10 times of this January 2025, which is 70 billion, and here it is 682. Again, here also the import is more than the export. So here the export and import, it includes the merchandise and the services. So let us include how much merchandise alone has been exported and how much services has alone been exported. So merchandise export is $358 billion and services is $323 billion. Almost same, just a little difference is there. So here if you see, the merchandise is more than services. And in case of imports, if you see, total merchandise import is $601 billion and total services import is just 168. So it's a huge difference here. If you see, in the exports, we're almost same. We are exporting merchandise and services of almost equal value. Okay, but here if you see, under the imports, we are importing huge amount of merchandise, that is goods, but services, it is very minimal. It is only at $168 billion. So we are more of a service export country than a service import country. So you can conclude these type of things from this data. So main thing that you have to remember, import is more than export, and overall import until now has been 770 billion and here export is 682 billion. So export, if you see, almost the merchandise and services, almost they are equal. Okay, but import, under import, if you see, merchandise is way more than services. That is, we import around 600 billion merchandise, but we import only $168 billion services. Okay, this is the thing that this is the conclusion that you get from this data. Next, if you see, under the export import of the January month. So we saw it in the previous slide, we saw it from April to January, right? Now we will see only of January. So January we saw that around 75 billion export has been done and the merchandise is around 36 billion and the services around 38 billion, almost equal, just like the previous one. But here if you see the imports, in this case, if you see, 77 billion is the total import, and in that if you see 59, around 60 billion if you see is the merchandise import, and 18 billion is the services. Again, here also you see a huge difference. The import of merchandise is way more than the services import. So the next is the top 5 export destinations that recorded positive growth in January 2025 compared to 2024. The top 5 are Japan with 53% growth, USA 39%, Nepal 20% and Bangladesh 17%, then UK 14%. So Japan, USA, Nepal, Bangladesh and UK. These are the top 5 export destinations that recorded positive growth in January 2025. Similarly, if you see the top 5 destinations that recorded positive growth in terms of this tenure, April to January 2025, that had recorded the positive growth, that is the top 5. They are Japan, UK, Netherlands, USA and UAE. So now if you see, it is quite easy to remember. In both the slide, that is in January 2025 and also in this tenure, that is from April to January 2025, there are 3 countries that are in common. Those are Japan, USA and UK. 2 countries are only separate. So here in export of April to January 2025 alone, the new countries are Netherlands and UAE. Similarly, in the January 2025, the new countries are Nepal and Bangladesh. So these 3 countries are common. The new countries alone you have to remember. So in the April to January tenure, it is Netherlands and UAE, and in January alone it is Nepal and Bangladesh.
We have launched a new course called Static Banking Awareness course. Now this course will be helpful for students who are preparing for the banking exams and for the regulatory body exams. And also, recently you would have seen Paytm Bank in news frequently. So when an aspirant reads this news, he would have ample number of questions like what is a payment bank, what are the norms for it, and which is the committee that has launched it. So this static banking awareness course lays a foundation to the current banking and finance news. Now, you have to download our Careers Cloud to access this course. Once you have logged into our app, you can go and click this all courses icon, and then you'll be redirected to this page. In this, you have to go and click the static banking awareness course, and under the details tab, you will be able to see a brief about this course. And under the part tab, it will contain all the contents, all the topics of the contents that are currently available in this course. We are working on this continuously, and this will be completed within 2 months. Under the free tab, you can go and access one content, that is the origin and development content, for free. You can go and read this content and have an idea about this course. After reading this content, do attend the quiz that is also available under the same tab. Now, our team has allocated ample amount of time and resources to curate this content. We have created this content from various books and from various verified websites. Our content is better than any book that is available in the market. This is because we update this content on a dynamic basis. For example, there are currently 39 DRTs that are available in the country now. In future, if one more DRT is created or added, then it would become 40. So we would update this content on a dynamic basis. But in case of books, you have to wait for the next publication for this updated content. Nowadays, a lot of practical questions have been asked in the banking exams. For example, how many public sector banks are available on the stock exchange? Which is the payment bank that is being listed on the stock exchange? So, we try to cover as many practical questions as possible in this course. Apart from this, we also provide you a question bank that will contain around 3000 questions and the previous year questions along with it. We also have a dedicated tab that will release the important RBI notification and the frequent news released by the RBI. You can use this code B15 to avail 15% discount. This is one of the highest discounts that we have offered until now. So do avail this code B15 while you purchase the course.
The next news is about a portal. So SEBI has launched RPT portal. RPT stands for Related Party Transaction Portal to strengthen corporate governance and transparency. So this portal, if you see, it is dedicated platform to monitor and analyze this related party transaction. Now, what is this related party transaction? It is a transaction which happens between the company and the related party. So related party here, it means it can be either the director's relatives or friends, close friends, or just directors, any other key decision makers or relatives or friends, if you see. So it is very important to monitor such transaction, because there is a high possibility that there might be any favorism under this transaction. Since because it is a known people to the director, very close people to the director or the key person, he might create some favorism to the people involved. So that is why it is very important to monitor and analyze these transactions. And for this purpose, a dedicated portal has been launched by the SEBI. It is called as the RPT portal. This portal enables a wide range of stakeholders to access standardized and compatible data on the RPT. A related party transaction is a business arrangement between two parties who are already connected. These transactions can involve the exchange of services, resources, or obligations. So the portal, if you see, it will compile comprehensive information on this RPTs, including shareholding voting patterns from the last 2 years, and also it will enable the investors and other entities to make well-informed decisions. So RPT plays a wide role in making decisions. So especially if an investor, he wants to invest in the shares of this company, then this RPT will play a vital role in forming that decision. So the portal will be managed by 3 proxy advisories. So those 3 are Bengaluru-based InGovern Research Services Private Limited, Mumbai-based Institutional Investor Advisory Services India Limited, and Mumbai-based Stakeholders Empowerment Services. Remember these 3 proxy advisories. One is InGovern Research, next is Institutional Investor Advisory Services, the last one is the Stakeholders Empowerment Services. The next is RBI extends the authorization of this white label ATM called Vakrangi. So if you see, Vakrangi is already operating as a white label ATM. Now RBI has extended its operation. So if you see, now it can operate as the white label ATM until March 31st, 2026. So the RBI granted an extension to the Mumbai-based Vakrangi Limited authorization to set up, own and operate the white label ATMs across India until March 31st, 2026. So Vakrangi, if you see, it aims to achieve a revenue of $1 billion and a gross transaction value of 150 billion by 2030. So white label ATMs, if you see, they are the ATMs that are set up, owned and operated by non-bank entities. So when this is set up, owned and operated, so all the entire function of this ATM, it is done by non-bank entities, then those are called as the white label ATMs. They are alternative to the traditional bank-owned ATMs. So if you see, bank already they have various responsibility, right? They have to run the branch, they have to improve the revenue of the bank, they have to take care of the customer service, the customer complaints. So many responsibilities are already there with the bank. So that is why it was then decided that why can't we bring the non-bank entities? So they can also help in setting up of the ATM and taking care of the cash process. So it might be a little load lesser in the bank. So that was the main purpose to introduce this white label ATMs in India. Next is RBI removes the regulatory barriers on Kotak Mahindra Bank. If you see, this barrier, it was put in on April 24, 2024 under the section 35A of the Banking Regulation Act. Remember this 35A, under this section only this imposition was made after identifying serious IT related regulatory violations. So if you see information technology, it is very, very important to give importance to this, because nowadays if you see, the cyber attacks are increasing day by day. So it is very important to secure the system of the banking. So that is why there were few issues regarding this IT, and that is why an imposition or restriction was made by the RBI on the Kotak Mahindra Bank. So these restrictions had prevented the bank from adding new customers through online and mobile banking and from issuing new credit cards. To resolve these issues, KMB, that is Kotak Mahindra Bank, took corrective measures and submitted the complaints reports. And after that, if you see, an external audit was done and with RBI's approval, and then only this barrier has been removed. So it is not like after, like bank will tell, okay, I have complied all the issues that you have told me, now remove this restriction. It will not be done. An audit should be done. So external audit was conducted, and then after, okay, they have really resolved all the issues. Only after that, this barrier was removed. Next is RBI imposes restriction on the New India Cooperative Bank on supervisory concerns. So I think you would have seen this on news channels and all. They were repeatedly showing this. So if you see, there were a few supervisory concerns observed in this New India Cooperative Bank, and that is why restrictions like no more withdrawal, no more new loans to be issued. So these various restrictions were imposed. Even the board, even the RBI took over the control of the board. So various things were done in this bank. So let us see them. So RBI imposed restriction on the Mumbai-based New India Cooperative Bank Limited from issuing new loans, suspended deposit withdrawals amid supervisory concerns. So these restrictions were issued by the RBI under the Section 35A of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So again, in the previous news also, we saw that it was done under the Section 35A. This is also under Section 35A. So RBI informed that the eligible depositors will receive a deposit insurance of up to 5 lakh their deposits from the DICGC, that is Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. So apart from that, under Section 36 AAA, read with Section 56 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949, if you see, RBI has superseded the Board of Directors of New India Cooperative Banks for a period of 12 months to address this governance issues. And also it has appointed Srikanth, the former CGM of State Bank of India, as the administrator to manage the bank's affairs. And he will also be accompanied by a committee which includes Ravindra Sapra, the former GM of SBI, and Abhijit Deshmukh, a chartered accountant. These many people now will address this governance issues. Remember the name, this name you have to remember, Srikanth, the former CGM of State Bank of India. And the bank here is the New India Cooperative Bank. Next is RBI approves an increase in stake. So if you see, the Zulia Investments Private Limited, which is a subsidiary of the Singapore-based Temasek Holdings Limited, has got approval from RBI to increase its stake in AU Small Finance Bank. So Zulia, a subsidiary of Temasek Holdings Private Limited. So that's taking, if you see, currently they have a stake of 1.37%, and now this will be increased to 7% after the RBI approval. So RBI has approved for increase in the stake from 1.37% to 7%. Next is Exim Bank has provided a loan amount of $300 million to Vietnam. Now if you see, where will this money put into use? So this money, if you see, around $180 million will be put for procurement of 4 offshore patrol vessels, and remaining $120 million will be used to procure high-speed guard boats. Remember the about $300 million by Exim Bank to Vietnam. Next is RBI approves EaseBus to operate as the online payment aggregator. So Reserve Bank of India has given the approval to operate itself as the online payment aggregator. So we know the role of this payment aggregator. So say you have gone to Amazon, you have bought a book. Okay, now you have to make payment to the merchant, right? So you have, say you want to pay it via UPI, but the UPI mechanism is not acceptable by the merchant. He does not have that compatibility. So in that case, what happens is that the payment aggregator comes into picture. The payment aggregator will accept all sort of payments on behalf of the merchant and then give the amount to the merchant. There will be an agreement between the payment aggregator and the merchant. So if you see, now this money from the customer will be accepted by the payment aggregator, and this money will then be given to the merchant. The days within which it will transfer the money to the merchant is signed by the agreement between the payment aggregator and the merchant. This is the purpose of the payment aggregator, so that the merchant does not have to worry that he has to make a tie-up with the all type of payment system. Like various payment system are there, right? Debit card, credit card, UPI, wallet. So many payment system are there, and so many banks are there. Merchant cannot go and tie up with each payment system or banks. It's very tedious process for him or her, because he has to concentrate on the business. Payment aggregator, though, you don't have to worry about it. I will take care of the payment mechanism. You just have to sign an agreement with me, and I will forward the money to you within so many days. This is the purpose of the online payment aggregator. And now remember, it is EaseBus which has got approval to operate as the online payment aggregator. Next is the South Indian Bank introduces SIB Quick FD. Now, what is this Quick FD means? It means that you can open this fixed deposit account without having a savings bank account. Traditional purpose, if you see, you have to have a savings bank account, right? Only then you can open an FD account. So generally, you will have a savings bank account, and when you want to open an FD account, the money from the savings bank account will be transferred to this FD account. But here, they give you an offer that you don't have to have a savings account. You can directly open an FD account, and that is called as the SIB Quick FD. So this is called as Quick FD. It allows the individuals to open the fixed deposit account without a savings bank account. And various features, if you see, customers can fund their FD using the UPI. So as I told you, how will the money get into the FD account? From the savings account. But here you don't even have a savings account. In that case, if you see, here you can fund it using your UPI. And this UPI can be connected to any bank. Only 2 documents are required to open this FD. One is PAN and the other one is the Aadhaar. And you can open it at any time. So 24/7 this is available, and the minimum investment, that is the minimum FD you can open, is 1000 rupees. Remember, the bank involves South Indian Bank, and the FD name is called SIB Quick FD. Next is IRDAI unveils Bima Trinity schemes for insurance revolution. So this scheme, it has 3 components. First one is Bima Sugam. It is an online portal. It is designed to facilitate the sale. So where the sale of insurance policies happen, also the claim settlement. So the customers can also submit their claims in the of their insurance in this portal, and also servicing. So all this will be addressed in this Bima Sugam portal. Second component is the Bima Vistar. So what is this Bima Vistar? It is a composite insurance product that offers coverage for life, personal accident, property, hospitalization. So it is a composite. It is a cover of various mixed insurance. Next, third one is the Bima Bahak. What is this Bima Bahak? It is a women-centric insurance field sales, and it is especially it is especially focused in improving its penetration in the underserved areas. We know that they are the insurance. IRDA ambition is to provide insurance for all by 2047. So for that, it is very important to penetrate to the underserved areas. So remember the three components name: Bima Sugam, Bima Vistar and Bima Vahak. Next is about the penalty imposed by Reserve Bank of India on various banks. So first is the Nainital Bank Limited, and the penalty imposed is 61 lakhs. Next is the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, imposed a penalty of 6.7 lakh has been imposed. The last one is the Shriram Finance Limited, and penalty of 5.8 lakh has been imposed for regulatory non-compliance. Remember the name and the amount: Nainital Bank 61 lakhs, Ujjivan Small Finance Bank 6 lakhs, Shriram Finance Limited 5 lakhs. Next is RBI approves P.D. Singh as the CEO of Standard Chartered Bank. So RBI has approved banker Prabdev Singh as the CEO of India's operation of Standard Chartered of India. So now the Standard Chartered India will be headed by the P.D. Singh, and he, if you see, he will head India and also the South Asia operation, and the tenure will be of 3 years. So Standard Chartered has been operating in India for over 160 years with a network of 100 branches across 42 cities. And if you see the current CEO, so now P.D. Singh will replace the Zarun Dharuwala. So P.D. Singh will replace the Zarun Dharuwala, who has been heading this Standard Chartered of India until now. Next is LIC launches one-man office to empower agents. So what is this one-man office? It is a tool in promoting life insurance and also ensuring that excellent customer service is provided. So as I told you in the previous slide also, the initiative would contribute to LIC's long-term goal of achieving insurance for all by 2047. So it is designed to improve the efficiency and productivity of the LIC sales force, that is agents, development officers, senior business associate, LIC associates, to improve the productivity and efficiency and also to provide excellent customer service. This one-man office has been introduced by the LIC. So it provides, apart from that, it provides services like premium calculator, benefit illustration. So the customer has to understand, right, what is the benefit provided. So this will be properly mentioned. So for that, if you see, the agent should understand like what are the benefit will be provided. So a proper illustration will be provided. Electronic National Automated Clearing House Registration. So you have to make a, what is the purpose of this? That is a regular premium should be detected. For that, this NACH should be done. So this NACH will give you the authorization, or it is a mandate where the bank will detect such premium account annually or quarterly, whatever is the tenure. For that, this registration is required. Next is change of address, online loan request. So these are the various services that will be available on this. So as of January 2025, if you see, the Government of India owns 96.5% stake in LIC, and the MD and CEO of LIC is Siddhartha Mohanty, headquartered in Mumbai. Next is Karnataka Bank celebrated its 101st Founders Day by launching 2 new products. So those are KBL3 and KBL1 Family Banking Program. And KBL3, if you see, there are 2 products under it. First one is the signature account. So signature account, if you see, under that a minimum average balance of 5,000 has to be maintained. The personal accident insurance is 2 lakhs and home shield insurance coverage of 10 lakhs will be available under this signature account. Next is the premium account. Just by the name you can tell that here the minimum average balance would be higher. So here it should be 25,000. 25,000 of minimum average balance should be maintained, and the personal accident is 2 lakhs and the home shield insurance is also 10 lakhs, just like the previous one. But the cancer indemnity coverage is there for 25 lakhs. And this KBL1 Family Banking Program, if you see here, it is a banking solution that connects the family with a single identification ID. So various family members can be connected with a single ID, and that is the main purpose of this KBL1 Family Banking Program. Next is IRDAI launches Bima-ASBA to make insurance premium payment easier via UPI. So ASBA is application supported blocked amount. So if you see, how does this work? So let me tell you this by step by step. First is opting for Bima. So first, when the customer applies for an insurance policy, the customer can select an option that allows their bank to block the premium amount. So when they are applying for the policy, they can tell that whatever is the premium amount, I give you the permission to send or to allow the banks to block the premium amount. Okay. Next is that request for blocking funds. The insurance company sends a request through its partner to block the required amount in the customer's account. So remember here, the customer applies for the insurance policy to the insurer. The insurer sends to the bank to block the amount. Next, the bank seeks accrual from the customer. Upon consent, the bank blocks the premium amount and notifies the insurer. So next, that after getting consent from the customer, the bank blocks the amount. Just like when you apply for IPO, right? Suppose say you go for Zerodha broker to apply for IPO there. Okay. After applying for the IPO, a request comes to your UPI. Like so and so wants to block your amount for the IPO purpose. You give the consent, okay, and then only the amount is blocked. The similar thing is happening here also. Almost the same thing is happening here. So you give the consent and the premium amount is blocked. Remember, just remember this: it is blocked and not debited. Just blocked. It's still there in your account, but you cannot use it. Waiting period. The blocked funds remain in the customer's account but are unusable until the insurer decides on the application. Okay. Next is if approved. If the insurance policy is approved, then the insurer requests the bank to debit the blocked account and transfer them to the debit the blocked funds and transfer them to the account. So the insurance policy is approved, that is, it has been issued. Then the insurer has the rights to collect the premium amount, right? So it will tell the bank to transfer that amount to their account. What happens if it is rejected or not approved? In that case, what happens that the blocked amount is released back into their account. This is what happens. Okay. So that is what has been now the ASBA has been introduced in this insurance also. Suppose if the insurer does not process an application within 14 days. So if you see, I have given the request. I have initiated an insurance policy and the insurer has been 14 days and the insurer has still not given any decision. That is, it is neither rejected nor approved. In that case, what happens is that the insurer does not process an application. If an insurer does not process an application within 14 days, then the blocked amount will automatically be unblocked by the partner bank. So 14 days it will be the waiting period. 14 days it will check. If there is no decision by the insurer, then it will be automatically unblocked. Next is that Federal Bank launches Prospera NRI savings account for the NRIs. So an exclusive banking solution has been designed for the NRIs, PIO, that is persons for Indian origin, and the overseas citizens of India. So for these three persons, this account has been opened. So it is a what all it offers? It offers complimentary insurance benefits worth rupees 60 lakhs. Competitive interest rates has been offered and also special reward points for the debit card expenditures. So these are features that have been given by the Federal Bank for this Prospera NRI savings account. And the insurance coverage, if you see, it is provided by the Maharashtra-based Tata AIG General Insurance Company Limited. They have to maintain a minimum average balance of 25,000. Remember the account name, it is Prospera NRI savings account by the Federal Bank. Next is about the rating. So ICRA, it is a rating agency that estimates India's GDP growth to rise to 6.4% in the third quarter. So apart from that, if you see, it has also said that there will be an improvement in the gross value added, that is to 6.6% in the Q3 from 5.6% in the Q2 of the financial year 25. Remember, GDP, it is 6.4% and gross value added, that is GVA, prediction is 6.6%. So GVA will be mainly driven by this increase from 5.6% to 6.6%. It is mainly driven by the industrial, that is, it is up by 6.2%, services up by 7.7%, and agricultural up by 4%. So these three main factors, if you see, it is more than the both industry, services, and agriculture. It has improved compared to the previous quarter. That is why the gross value addition will improve compared to the previous quarter. The Government of India's capital expenditure rose 47.7% year on year in Q3, the highest in 6 quarters. So it is a very good news. That is, they have invested a lot in the capital. And also the service exports hit an all-time high of 36.9 billion in December 2024, with Q3 exports rising 17.5% year on year. And also the merchandise exports also, if you see, there has been a growth of 3.3% year on year. It is not as high as compared to services, but still it has been on a positive note. Services, if you see, 17.5% year-on-year growth, and merchandise export 3.3%. Main thing that you have to remember here is the GDP, that is 6.4% for Q3, and the gross value addition is 6.6% for the same quarter. Next is SBI Cards appoints Salila Pandey as the MD and CEO. So Salila Pandey will succeed Abhijit Chakravarti, who will retire from the SBI from March 31st, 2025. And this Salila Pandey, she is currently working as CGM at SBI. So she is currently working as CGM at SBI, and then after March 31st, she will be the MD and CEO of SBI Cards. So she has served in important roles as the President and CEO of SBI California, Vice President Med Office at SBI Singapore, and also the Deputy General Manager in Delhi. So these are the various roles that she had served in SBI, and after March 31st, she will be serving as the MD and CEO of SBI Cards. Remember the name Salila Pandey. The next news is NPCI introduced new UPI rule on the automatic acceptance and rejection of the chargeback effective from February 15, 2025. Now, if you see, it has uploaded or introduced new rules for managing chargeback. So what is this chargeback? This chargeback is nothing but a reversal of a completed transaction. Completed UPI transaction. A UPI says as a person A, and he has initiated a UPI transaction, say of 10,000 rupees, and this amount has been debited from his account, his or her account. Then after that, due to some technical issue, this person now requests for the reversal of this completed UPI transaction. Then that is called as the chargeback. Now, new rules have been introduced for this chargeback. So, chargeback is a process which reverses a completed UPI transaction due to disputes, frauds, or technical error. This reversal of UPI transaction, it is initiated by the payers bank. So, it will be initiated by the ACE bank. Say ACE bank is Bank B. So, this Bank B will initiate this chargeback process, and if approved, if this chargeback is approved, then the transaction amount will be returned to the payer. That will be credited back. This 10,000 will be credited back to this customer A. So if you see, the NPCI has introduced a new instruction regarding the UPI transactions specifically related to the auto acceptance and rejection of this chargeback. So as I mentioned, the chargeback will be initiated by the payer's bank. So in that case, we saw that Bank B, and this chargeback, it can be either be rejected or be accepted also. So regarding that, a new rule has been introduced. So these changes will be implemented on the basis of transaction credit confirmation and returns, streamlining the process of handling disputed transactions. This transaction credit confirmation or returns, if you see, this will be provided by the beneficiary bank. So this person A was sending amount to a person C. Okay, so C's bank will provide this status, that is transaction credit confirmation or return status. So what is this transaction credit confirmation? This means the beneficiary bank has confirmed that the transferred amount has been successfully credited to the recipient account. This is what it means. Okay, and return means, you can I think you can just judge it by the name. Return means that it has not been credited successfully through the recipient account. So return refers to the process of refunding the money to the recipient account on event of the failed transaction. So currently, if you see, chargebacks can be raised on the same day a transaction occurs. Okay, on today is say 10th February. Okay, so A has transferred the money to C, 10,000, and the same day A has gone to the bank B and requested for chargeback. That is to reverse back this amount to the account holder A on the same day itself. So this bank B can also initiate the chargeback process on the same day itself when the transaction occurs. But there is an issue regarding this. What is the issue? However, since the beneficiary banks do not always have enough time to verify and process returns proactively, many disputes often escalate into chargeback. So A has initiated the transaction to C, but the beneficiary bank has not yet confirmed whether the amount has been credited to the customer C or not. Before that confirmation, before the processing of this confirmation by the beneficiary bank, the Bank B initiates the chargeback process. Before any reconciliation happens by beneficiary bank, this Bank B initiates the chargeback process, and it often escalates into a lot of confusion. If you see, because of this, some banks have raised requests for refund without first checking whether a chargeback had already been initiated. Okay, as I mentioned previously, what does the return means? It means that the amount has not been credited to the beneficiary. Here in this case, it is C. Okay, it has been stuck somewhere with the bank itself. There are even in case of NEFT or RTGS and all, when the remitter, okay, A, initiates the NEFT or RTGS transaction, sometimes it does not get credited to the customer C or the beneficiary C due to various reasons. What happens is that in that case, sometimes what happens is that it gets stuck with the beneficiary bank itself. Let the beneficiary bank be X. Okay, so let the C's beneficiary bank be X. In that case, it will be stuck with the beneficiary bank. Beneficiary bank in some account of beneficiary bank. There will be various accounts for beneficiary bank also. Like the bank X will have an account where the failed transactions will come and get credited. See, there is an account dedicated for the NEFT or RTGS rejected transaction, okay, which was failed to be credited into the customer C. That amount will be credited to this account. Similarly, in case of UPI also, which failed to be credited into this customer C, it will be credited to this bank account. Bank account, rejected UPI transaction, there will be an account number. In that account of that bank, it will be credited, not to the beneficiary's account, but the bank's account. In case of rejected or in case of failed UPI transaction. So, if you see at the end of the day, the bank will reconcile. Okay, these many UPI transactions have been rejected. Now, what we have to do, due to some reason, due to technical or any other reason, now we have to reconcile this. Okay, that is what the bank will do at the end of the day. Before this reconciliation process is held, what happens is that the bank B, that is the remitter's bank of A, initiates this chargeback process. So before giving time to the beneficiary bank for the reconciliation process, this bank initiates the chargeback process. That is the issue right now. So because of this, some banks have raised requests for a refund without first checking whether a chargeback had already been initiated. So what happens is that the beneficiary, the bank A, the bank of this customer A would have initiated the chargeback process. Chargeback process means reverse the amount that has been credited or that has been sent by by the person A. Okay. So without looking whether a chargeback has been raised, what happens is that the bank initiates, the beneficiary bank initiates the refund process. That is wrong. Before initiating a refund process, the beneficiary bank should check for a chargeback process. And due to this difference, what happens is that RBI ends up penalizing the beneficiary bank. Because when you have a chargeback process, you have to conform to it before initiating a refund process. So, since you have initiated a refund process in spite of having a chargeback, you will be penalized. This is what RBI penalizes this beneficiary bank. So, now if you see, the updated rule will ensure that the beneficiary bank will automatically accept or reject a chargeback based on the TCC or returns raised in the following settlement cycle after a chargeback is initiated. Previously, it involved a lot of manual intervention, okay, but this, if you see, this involves automatic. So, if you see, the beneficiary bank will automatically accept or reject the chargeback based on the TCC or return raised in the following settlement cycle only. Remember, only in the following settlement cycle after a chargeback is initiated. After a chargeback is initiated, based on the TCC or returns, then only this will be automatically accepted or rejected. So, this avoids the manual intervention. Only automatically this will be done based on the TCC and the return statement only in the following settlement cycle. The new UPI chargeback rule will come into effect for the bulk upload option and unified dispute and issue resolution only. Remember, this will be applicable only for the bulk upload option that is done by the banks and the unified dispute issue resolution, but not in front end option. That is, it will not be visible to the customer in the banking apps. Okay, customer, even if they have dispute now, they should come to the bank and report. This will not be applicable or this will not be visible in the customer banking apps.
Thank you for watching the session. I hope you had enjoyed it. We're also available in Telegram under the name AffairsCloud_official. We also have an Instagram handle. Apart from this, you can contact us directly on 9677333862 regarding any courses that we offer or regarding any payment issues. You can contact on directly on this number. Thank you.